We are live. I'm Naijha Wright Brown, host of Naijha Speaks, also contributing for Unchained TV and Black USA News. Being queer and being vegan, is there a correlation? We're about to find out. My guests today are eating their way to destiny, but with very tense shoulders. Please welcome Destiny and Brianna. How you doing this morning?
That was so cute. I love that. Very clever, and it definitely describes us.
Yes.
Well, I am happy to have you two on today. I mean, we've been working together for a couple of years, and you both have such an incredible story. So let's just get started with that question. Is there a correlation between being queer and being vegan?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we think of this question, it's a little interesting because, one has to do with our identity. Well, I mean, I guess they both are identifiers, but one is like something that we chose, and the other is something that we kind of just woke up this way. Yeah. We're born this way. But I think the correlation, I guess, that we both kind of agree is that there's a process of coming out with both of our identities. So being queer, or I identify as lesbian queer. I had to come out to my family. I had to come out to my coworkers. I had to come out to my friends. I had to come out to anybody I really interact with because I don't hide who I am. And then the same goes for being vegan. I had to come out to my family, my friends, my coworkers, and both are greeted with different, I guess, reactions. So yeah, I think that's where they kind of tie in, right?
Yeah, I saw this video. I think it was TikTok, but it was some guy doing coming out to my family as gay, and they're like, "Oh, we accept you," and then coming out as vegan, it's this whole big thing because it's just what, you don't eat meat, and I think that's a big thing, especially just in the Black community for sure. It's we eat meat, we eat everything, every part of the pig. So coming out as vegan was a little different. The other thing, I think for a while I could hide being a lesbian, hide being queer, but I can't really hide what, I want to eat and, tell you don't put the meat on my plate. It's always going to be something. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, what is your story? How did the two of you both meet? Because I'm sure, Destiny, I met you through, just reviewing some grants and then looking at a resume, and, Veggie Mijas, all of that came out. And that's how you and I connected. And then you connected me with Brianna because Brianna's your partner, and we needed some help over here at Black Veg with web development. And Brianna just so happened to be talented in that area. And then she also shares the same birthday as me. So, she came on board. So both of you are working with Black Veg Society. But how did the two of you come together? What was that? Because you're from the Bronx, Destiny, and Brianna, where are you from? How did that all happen?
Yeah, Memphis. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So I moved to Dallas, Texas in 2014. And I was there. I joined the Army there, National Guard. And I'd been living there for 2 years before you moved there. Mm-hmm. And that's where we met. We met in Dallas. You want to tell them the whole story, or?
I mean, yeah. As much as you want to, feel free. This is your channel right now.
Yeah. I was living in the Bronx. I was born and raised in the Bronx, and I couldn't afford to live there anymore. So I moved to Texas. It was super culture shock for me. But yeah, I joined a lesbian dating app at the time. It was called Her. And I was just meeting people, meeting friends, dating people. And Brianna was one of the people I was dating at the time. And yeah, we just kind of clicked, and it was really early on with I think I moved in March, and I think February, and then by April.
I think we had our first date in March.
So. Yeah. So it was nothing serious, but we were hanging out and stuff like that. And we just our personalities just clicked. We just are really we work together really well. And so yeah, we started dating, and eventually we moved out of Dallas to Vegas, and then kind of started our traveling relationship.
Yeah, basically. She's kind of the one that's always has to have a list, always making itineraries. She's very realistic, and I'm kind of the dreamer. So I think we kind of balance each other out. She'll get me up to speed, but then I'll bring her back down to let's just relax for a little bit.
Yeah. pretty much.
Yeah, sounds like me and my husband. We have a question here. Thanks for tuning in, Debbie, and thank you for your question. Do you think we're all born vegan, but it is social norms and our parents' values that force us to be otherwise?
I feel like probably, right? Because when we are like younger, I think you said something like in kindergarten you went to like a farm or something, right? Like we all like visit farms and we want to like be around animals and like, you know, we love cute little animals. And I don't think that a child would want to eat a chicken like after playing with a chicken, you know? So I think it is kind of like forced upon us, but it's just so normalized that like we don't really even think about it, you know? Like I wouldn't even think about like being born vegan because even like what is it called, like formula, like we're from the moment we're, you know, born, we're drinking cow's milk. So it's like really hard to think of a world of like, you know, being born vegan.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking like usually when you see baby food, it's usually a lot of carrots, peas. You don't see a lot of chicken. I mean, you see like chicken flavored things, but I think we are like I don't think we really are meant to eat meat like that. So I mean, I honestly, I don't know how to answer that question.
It's true though, because I feel like you said, like when you see baby food, you don't see ground chicken. Like you're seeing like sweet potato and like all these like natural like plants and healthy things. And it's kind of like, you know, parents introduce dairy first through like formula and things like that. And then eventually like, you know, chicken and all the meat and stuff kind of comes after. But I think it's a known fact that like meat and dairy, well, at least meat for children is like not the best for them. Like you're not going to give your infant a piece of turkey.
It's a certain stage in life, then you just start feeding it to them.
Yeah.
Right. There's an analogy that says if you put an apple out there in front of a child, they'll be drawn to the apple opposed to the steak at an early age. So it is, in my opinion, I think it is, you know, parents, grandparents, you know, just family, you know, pushing the culture and these norms onto the children, because I have a vegan daughter. She's going on 11. She's been vegan since the womb. And, you know, that's what she knows. There's no dairy, no meat. And, you know, she's not having any issues. So thank you again for that question, Debbie. Back to the relationship piece of this, because, you know, it is all about the queer and vegan and the correlation. What has your experience been as queers, individually and collectively?
Yeah, we both grew up in different places. So she grew up in the South, I grew up in the North. I feel like for me, at least with my family being like my mother and my grandmother, they were very accepting of me like coming out. I think I came out when I was like 14. I was like a freshman in high school, and it was kind of like, oh, it's a phase, destiny, because you're in an all-girls high school, like you just don't know any better. But like eventually my family was just like, all right, this is a long phase. So it was like pretty easy for me to come out. And then I think like for me, you know, getting into like college and like my career after college, I think that was like the hardest part for me, like just being in like an office setting and like people talking about like my boyfriend or like my husband or, you know, and just like not really even acknowledging or like asking if I had like a partner that was a woman or whatever. So I think like the hardest part for me coming out was like always in the workplace. Like it was always like super awkward to do that. But yeah,
it was a little different for me. I came out at 18, kind of not on purpose. Like I didn't come out. My mom was just like, she sat me down. It's like, I know you have something to tell me. And then it kind of went that kind of way. But yeah, I tried to hide it for a very long time. So then when I did come out, it was like, I mean, I felt better. I felt free. But as far as the going out in public thing, for me, it was a little harder to hide it because I'm like masculine presenting. So when I go out in public, it's like, oh, is that a boy or girl? I get called sir like all the time. And I don't usually correct people. I'm like, you know, it's whatever. We're people. It's fine. But the times that I've had in public where I've had like other women follow me into the bathroom, like, hey, you're in the wrong bathroom. And I'm like, nah, I'm not in the wrong bathroom. So yeah, it's kind of a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because if anyone knows me, I'm into the signs and astronumerology and all that other stuff. And, you know, I'm a Pisces, and I just said me and Brianna share the same birthday. Pisces tend to be more free-spirited and can be fluid. You know, would you agree with that? We're just these free spirits.
Yeah.
And not to put a lot of business out there, but I had a period in my life where it was like, okay, we have options, but it's either you're gonna go through the phase or you're gonna realize, hey, I like men, I like women, or I like both. Right. So going out in public together, what has that been like? Now, Destiny, you're Latina. I'm a Latina, the non-speaking Spanish Latinas. I've learned it like 10,000 times. But Black, Puerto Rican, and Cuban Rican. What is that like in this vegan queer space for you? Now, your mother was accepting. But when we're looking at society as a whole, what have you experienced, being in this relationship with Brianna and going with what you go through on this journey?
Yeah, I think right now we live in like the queer vegan capital of the US. We live in Portland. So I have like...
Was that intentional? Was that intentional?
I mean, sort of, like yes and no. Part of it, I guess we could talk about the tiny house like a little bit later, but like part of it was that Portland was an easy place for us to find parking for our tiny house, but it also happens to be like very queer, very vegan. So right now, like we have no issue really being queer or being vegan in Portland. I feel like everybody here is queer and vegan. Yeah. So there's like no issue with that. But when we lived in Texas, I feel like it was a little bit more like in Dallas, it's a pretty like liberal city. So it wasn't like as bad, but it's like when we're driving outside of the cities, like I remember
small towns.
Yeah, those small towns are scary. It's scary to be queer, it's scary to be Black, it's scary to be, they don't really know that you're vegan unless you're like dining somewhere. But I remember we went on vacation. What was the place that we came up with our little like handshake?
I don't remember the city. Somewhere in Texas.
We went to some like random rural part of Texas, and like we couldn't hold hands in public because we just didn't feel safe. So we like started doing this like thumb thing where we just be like, I love you, because like we just couldn't like outwardly be gay or like hold hands. So like things like that we've had to like develop over time. Like we're kind of good at gauging like the situation. Like, all right, this is not a safe space to, we're sisters today. Like we were in Houston and somebody was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Like you're sisters. And we're like, sure. Like if you want to think that we're sisters, like
it's fine
to keep us safe.
At least I was a girl this time. So,
Right. So I think as we've like progressed in our relationship, we kind of know like, all right, we could be gay here. We could be vegan here, So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same. And I think it's one of those things where they always assume like I'm the masculine role of the situation. So like we get the check, they like put the check on my side and stuff like that. But as far as like going out together here in Portland and finding vegan options, it's completely cool. When we went to Memphis one time. There was like only one vegan restaurant at the time in Memphis, and it was the overall experience wasn't bad because I don't think that it's a big deal that we were partners in Memphis, but finding vegan food in Memphis was not easy.
Now it's booming over there.
Yeah, now it's booming. Now we want to go back. So yeah.
But initially we were like, all right, we have this one restaurant. Like, how many times could we
eat here?
Yeah. So
let's talk about that for a moment. The identifying of who's going to be feminine, masculine, or whatever. Can you dive into that a little bit more? How do you determine this? And is that even important? I hear that a lot in relationships. Well, this is the masculine, or this is the dominant one, or whatever. I feel relationship is relationship. People just have personalities. I'm a number 5 in numerology, and I have a masculine number. Whatever that means in numerology. But so talk me through that in a queer relationship.
Yeah.
I think people on the outside try to put it on us, but in reality, it's kind of like you said, it's either way. Whoever's feeling masculine that day, feminine that day, or whatever you even want to call it. We don't even try to separate it like through energies like that. It's like, this is my role, this is what I do, and this is your role, this is what you do, and it's a mix of everything. Like I clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
She takes out the trash.
So things that you would think are like feminine and like masculine, like we just do it all, you know,
Yeah,
like we're
we
just
just do
like
it.
equal partners. And I think that, I don't know, we're pretty fluid when it comes to just like our, I guess, like masculine and feminine side. Like everybody, I think on earth pretty much has like both of those, right? Just like sometimes one shines a little bit brighter than the other.
Yeah.
And like, I think like for Brianna, like outwardly, like you're more masculine presenting, I'm more femme presenting. But I think when it comes to personality, sometimes like I could be more dominant.
You can be more stern and like more to the point.
Like things that are more like masculine, I guess, like what people believe. But yeah, we just try to like break free of that. We're just like whatever. Like our roles are.
Yeah.
We'll do it all. Like if I need to do something that I guess somebody thinks is more masculine, like I'll do it, you know?
Yeah. We don't let the hetero norms define us.
Yeah. Great.
Awesome. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We got to talk about careers, career-wise, individually and collectively. What are you both working on and towards, Destiny?
I'm like, what is life? I just turned 30 and I'm going through this like crisis of like, what am I doing with myself? Like, what am I doing with life? But I guess like for work, I do a bunch of things. Like, I feel like this is part of my like New York Latina like drive. I work like part-time with online like news organization, like hosting their events and like developing writers and stuff like that. And then my side hustle is doing social media management. So I work with Naijha. I do Black Veg Society stuff. And I have like 2 other clients that I do like social media for. And yeah, I'm also host cooking demos on the side sometimes. I'll do like brand collaborations with my own personal brand. I honestly am a hot mess and I do everything I can. I don't know how to not work. I don't know how to like relax. If there's something that like, you know, sounds interesting to me, I'm always down to like learn how to do it. Yeah, I do like a lot of like digital, I guess like marketing is what you can say.
Mm-hmm. Do you love what you do, Destiny?
Yes, I love what I do, but I think that I could be better at managing my time. Because I say yes to a lot of things and I love it because I love having a packed calendar and I love having like my color coordinated, like, you know, everything. But I think that I could slow down. Like, I mean, I'm only 30, right? But I still am aging and I feel like I need to like get my together so I can know like what am I prioritizing, you know? I think the biggest challenge with like social media is just kind of like so many people have so many different types of brands and I don't necessarily know like what it takes to run these businesses. Like I, you know, don't sell shoes. I'm not a hairdresser. So like to run social media pages for businesses like that, it's kind of hard because I'm like, I'm educated in social media, not necessarily like the type of career that these people might have, you know? So I have to learn like different things all the time being a social media manager. So it's a little bit challenging, but overall it's cool to connect with a lot of people like online, you know?
Yes. And we share in something, you know, we got to learn to say no. But Brianna, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm actually in the process of quitting my full-time software engineering job. Yes. So I'll be looking for something else. Also freelance. I work with Black Veg Society. I also do the MDV Eats, the Vegan Restaurant Week. I'm trying to work more towards starting to get into the freelancing side of things. So web development, web administration, web redesign. I'm trying to get more into that scene. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm also on the side teaching myself how to DJ. So hopefully that'll bring a little more side hustle money. And yeah, I'm in the National Guard part-time. So I work there, you know, once a month, go there once a month. And I'm also working a part-time job at Target just to pay off towards our house loan. So that's strictly like house loan money.
We are working women.
A lot.
That's awesome. It's amazing. Why are you transitioning out of software engineers? Is it obviously you're not happy?
No,
when you're moving off, why?
Yes. I think I'm just not happy with the current role that I'm in. So I'm kind of getting away from that. If another full-time job comes up before the freelancing takes off, that's fine. But I really enjoy the freelancing because I can set my own hours. You know, I can do what I need to do. If I want to work at 2 a.m., I can get up and work at 2 a.m. and knock something out. And then I get to work with a lot of different people, a lot of different things. And with the job, it's like you're working with that one company on one thing. So it can get boring, which this job did get boring. So it's kind of why I'm getting off of it and trying to get into the other space.
I think we identify there too as Pisces. We get really bored. We get bored really quickly. I mean, I have this video of Brianna that talks about, it's got to be what's next. Like you're already bored with the project you're working on. You're trying to look for the next thing. Like what's next? What's next? Next what? And that just I can resonate. I feel that because that's how I am. So much success. Is there an ask that you both have right now with your careers, and what you're looking for? Because you're trying to freelance and what you do, Brianna and Destiny, you're trying to do what you do. Is there an ask you want to, ask the viewers right now and what you're looking for while we're talking about career and transitioning to different things?
I mean, you could take clients.
Yeah. So if anyone is looking for a web administrator for WordPress, I actually work with blackvegersociety.org right now. We just did the refresh for it. So I'm tweaking, I'm updating, doing things for that. So if you have a WordPress site that needs updating or you need a redesign, I'm here for that. I also work with Squarespace. So any Squarespace sites you need. I'm trying to learn Webflow. I haven't got there yet, but if you want a website, just let me know. You'll be my first client for that one. If you need anything web development related, just hit me up. I guess just hit me up on my Instagram. That's where I'll be the most.
I think for me, I don't even want to think about taking on other projects, but but I think collectively, we started the brand Let's Go Tiny just to kind of educate people on like how to get into a tiny house, everything it takes. And so we do consultation calls. And so if anybody's interested in like just learning about tiny houses, like we could definitely jump on a call and do that. So yeah, I think that's like, we're wanting to get more people that look like us into tiny homes. And so I think that we could be a resource to people. So you could check out our Instagram and book a consultation call. And
see all the stuff that we went through and are still going through with the tiny home. So we can help you. We've kind of been through
it all.
You both have great timing because that's the next thing that we're segueing into. So let's talk about your experience with the Let's Go Tiny initiative. What happened there? How did that get started?
So before this, we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Vegas. It was nice. The price was nice, but of course, when a lease is ending, they start to tell you like the price is going to go up next year. And it's just like, it wasn't really worth it. And we know that if we were to stay in an apartment every year, it's going to go up. So we'd already been watching like all of the tiny house videos on Netflix, YouTube, Tiny House Nation, some of the other ones. So we were kind of already intrigued by the idea. And like, we didn't really take it serious into looking at it until about 6 months before our lease was
about to,
So at first we were thinking about doing a van, and then we're like, it's 2 of us. We both have work from home jobs, and we also have Scotty, our pup. So we were like, a van probably isn't going to work. And then we thought about an RV, and we got off of that because we both have vehicles. So the tiny house just kind of fit into the idea of our next step in life. So.
We planned everything within like 6 months. So that's finding a builder, finding a place to park it, finding a mover. And all those 3 things are like so difficult.
I wouldn't recommend trying to do it in 6 months.
No.
We
had to. We really had like no other option. We got it done. Shout out to us because it was very difficult. There's so many different parts that go into buying a tiny house, like that we just did not know. We didn't know anybody that actually lived in a tiny house. Like it took so much research and calling people and like,
Facebook groups,
everything. People give us tips now and I'm like, I already know. Cause I'm like, we've done so much research. I'm like, but that's kind of like how the process happened, like why we're in a tiny house.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how it is dealing with each other in that small space. Like Destiny, what's your sign?
A Virgo.
And a Pisces.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Like it's not.
Please.
It's not as bad. Like I feel like we have a 30-foot long tiny house, and for a lot of people it might seem like very small, but
it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Like we have a bunch of different places that we could work from. So this is like our office. Brianna has like her own standing desk over here. This is my desk. So like we work here throughout the day, but we can also work downstairs. We have like a living room area. We have a bedroom area on the other side. We have like a staircase that you could like use your laptop at. We have a table like in the kitchen that you could sit at. So there's different places that we can move so we're not like on top of each other all day. Mm-hmm. But then when we think about it, like when we had our 2-bedroom house apartment, we turned one of the bedrooms into an office, and we were sitting this close the whole time, like for 2 years. So like we were kind of like used to it at that point, you know. It feels like we're in an office.
Still work in the same office, yeah.
Yeah, like it just feels like we're in like an office where like our coworkers like right there, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, even before the 2-bedroom apartment, we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is kind of the same. It's slightly smaller than a 1-bedroom apartment.
Like
so,
a studio.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like as bad as people
surprisingly
think.
Surprisingly, because when we first moved in and we brought all the boxes in and we couldn't even see the floor, I was like, what are we doing? Because we are going to be cramped in here, but everything has a place. We have like 30 something drawers in the kitchen, so like, you know, it doesn't feel cluttered. Maybe her DJ desk, but
it's not clean right now.
You know what I think? Like when people are destined to be together, and my husband can attest to this because we've been working together we've been together a long time since 2006, I think 2006, 2007. And I think when you're destined to be together and you're soulmates, it really doesn't matter how small the space is. I mean, you know, of course we do need our personal space, you know, because after a while I know how Pisces get, like we're fish that need air. Right, Brianna? We're fish.
Yes.
Don't smother us because we need air. And, you know, as long as we're with the right partner, it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I think that really matters because there's some compatibilities that just ain't gonna work. So that's very important. Debbie's asking another question. Thanks again, Debbie. Do you feel that those in the queer space are more open to veganism than society in general? Thanking us for asking and answering a question. So what do you think about that?
I think so.
Yeah, I would say yes too, because they've already been through the same process, the same coming out process. Like, you know, are they going to accept me because I live a different way? So I think that people in the queer space are more open to.
But it also takes a person who is like open in a queer space, you know, because we have like gay friends who are like, I'm not touching that, I like my chicken, you know. So it just really depends. I feel like maybe not so much that they're gay or whatever, but it's just that their mind is open, you know, because I met a lot of closed-minded queer people that I would not get along with, you know. So but I feel like especially in Portland, I feel like everything is like marketed as like a queer friendly vegan space, and like everybody's just very, I think what it really is that everybody's just like open-minded, you know, like everybody's just like, you know, I'm down to date whoever, I'm down to eat whatever.
It's like be yourself.
Just like live, you know. But
I think you answered the question in terms of the correlation between queer and being vegan. The key word is open-mindedness, free-spiritedness. So I don't think, you know, there are queers that are not vegan, but they may be free-spirited and open in other areas. So we're saying no. I mean, it's one of those things where, are you free-spirited or not? Are you open to everything or not? So just because you're queer doesn't mean you're going to be vegan, and just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're going to be queer, even though people think we're queer as vegans, whether, you know, you're into the same sex or not. But so thank you for answering that question for Debbie. Let's talk about Black Vet Society. And before we talk about that, I got to do my selfless, shameless promotion. You're tuning in to Naijha Speaks right now. I'm on live at 11 on Thursdays most of the time, unless my schedule is packed and I have to do pre-records. Naijha Speaks is a product of Black Vet Society. Black Vet Society is meeting people where they are on their holistic, vegan and plant-based journey, wherever they're at on the journey, how old, young, whatever. We're meeting you where you are, and with your support, we can make all of this happen through events, interviews, all of this. So please support us at blackvegsociety.org. Giving Tuesday is over, but it really isn't over. The giving never stops. So please go to blackvegsociety.org. Black Veg Society doesn't just support our organization, we support other BIPOC-led organizations in their initiatives as well. Through collaborations, we co-host Vegan Soul Fest, which is in effect, and Brianna will be helping with that website in 2023. So Vegan Soul Fest is returning in 2023. We co-host that, and we also do the Maryland Vegan Restaurant Month, along with other events and initiatives. So now, how is it working with Black Veg Society? What is up with them? What is your thoughts about the organization as a whole and the direction that they are going in? Brianna, you want to start?
No.
I'll start. Okay.
That was a test.
I think I've been working with them with Black Veg for longer, so I think I could go. But
I was just teasing.
But no, I think, initially when I started with Black Veg, I really loved. Sorry, our dog is like coughing.
No, I'm surprised my cat hasn't come in here to give her debut. So hey, that's cool.
He likes to make noise when we're on lives. But no, when I first started with Black Veg, it was really, I think, like early on, like during my personal vegan journey, and I really loved the mission of just meeting people where you're at, because that's how my journey was, like it took me a while to kind of transition into veganism. Like first I was eliminating dairy, then meat and stuff like that. So I felt like the mission statement really resonated with me. And now that Black Veg has grown, I think, the mission is still continuing to follow something that I believe in, which is doing more collaborations and partnerships and working to support other groups and stuff like that. So yeah, I love working for Black Veg. I think, especially doing social media, meeting so many different people online, I'm able to meet more people than just where I'm at, right now I'm in Portland. There's so many people I can meet here, but through social media, I can meet people who are international or, across the country and do partnerships and host cooking demos and interviews and things like that. So it's been really fun. I'm excited to see where the new year brings us and stuff. So yeah, it's been cool.
Yes. Yeah. For me, for me, I love it too. The meeting you where you're at, and just the fact that, it really focuses on the community, the Black community, the BIPOC community, seeing other people like me that are vegan, meeting people like me that are vegan, because as I said, in the Black community, especially I grew up in the South. So, like I said, we every part of the hog, every part of the pig. So I don't know a lot of people from my family from the South that are vegan. So working with Black Veg Society, I get to see that it's an expansion. And then, just working on the website, seeing all the events that happen, all the things that go on that Black Veg Society is doing. I think it's great. And I think it's gonna roll even. It's gonna keep growing. It's just gonna keep going.
I think just having resources for the BIPOC community is important. Her mom recently, a couple months ago, just transitioned. And this is a woman that I would never think would go vegetarian. She's vegetarian now.
Yeah.
But baby steps. I would never, for Thanksgiving, the past couple years, I was the only vegan. Everybody's what the heck? We're eating tofu on Thanksgiving, it just, they weren't judgmental, but in a way they're kind of I could never.
You sure you don't want to eat chicken? That kind of,
Right. And now, recently her mom just told us hey, I'm vegetarian now, send me all the recipes, send me, and we'll send her stuff on Black Veg. It's just so shocking, but it's great that there's resources for people like her, people that you would never think would try this, vegetarian or vegan. So yeah, it's been cool to see that.
Awesome. I love to hear it. And, it's all about the team. The team, you got to have the right team. And I think the organization is blessed to have, and it's a small team. We're not this big organization. The team is so small. We're small, but we're mighty. We're doing a lot of events online, in person now that the country has been opened up. So I'm blessed, and just one day at a time. What message would you like to share with the viewers about being queer and vegan, or queer or vegan? Like, what is that message? You talked about Thanksgiving and people, oh, I'm not going to eat the tofu, whatever. What tips would you give folks about this lifestyle that you have, queer and vegan?
Yeah, no, I would say that make sure, when you go vegan, they always tell you make sure you remember your why, because a lot of people go vegan and then they go back to eating meat. So I think it's really important to stress that why to your family, to your friends, when they start asking questions, when they start making fun of your food. It's just like it's bigger than what's on my plate. Like, it's about my mental, my body, even, or if you do it for the animals, it's about the animals. But just stress your why to what you're doing, and try to get them to understand from your point of view why you're vegan. So, and as far as being queer, it's kind of the same thing. There's really not a why. It's just like you were born this way, but the same importance of this is who I am, and you can either accept it or you're not. So
yeah, I think when it comes to like just queerness, and even like, if you're vegan or on a vegan journey, like just making sure that you're in like a safe space with people who are supportive. Sometimes family members are not safe spaces, and like it's hard to accept that. But I think, yeah, like you have to take care of your physical and your mental space. So just making sure that you are really with people who like trust you, And I always say, like, not necessarily finding a mentor, but finding somebody that could support you, even if they're like virtual. I think when I first went vegan, I was depending on a lot of like Instagram friends and like asking them questions and like about experiences and stuff like that. So just finding somebody that can be kind of like your support system, whether it's like, you coming out as gay or you coming out as vegan. Like, I think it's important to have like at least one person to back you up,
I love it. And to Brianna's point about we're born a certain way, I just want to make a statement about the universe, the Most High, God, Allah, whatever religion that you are devout to. We're all the children of whomever, whatever. I mean, I call it universal law. So, and with that, we are all loved. It doesn't matter how you're birthed or the way you come out. Sometimes all of this stuff really creates unnecessary division and wars. I'm an omnis, so look it up, folks, if you don't know what that is. I find truth in all religions, because guess what? Yours is not the only one and the right one. That's why we have so many. So appreciate that. Appreciate people. We're all part of the human race, and racism and colorism and sexism and all of that stuff needs to end, because we don't need all of this unnecessary division. So I appreciate that. Anything that you want to add about, some social media tips, Destiny, because I'm trying to get my little stuff on, if you've been noticing, but, and anything on website development, Brianna, pros, cons, just anything you want to share before we leave out.
I think when it comes to like social media, it really takes collaborations, like getting other people to like share your stuff. Like sometimes it's hard to like grow your following, but really depending on like other people and their following and their audiences is like really important. So just developing those relationships. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's in the DM, sometimes it's not like a huge production or collaboration with them, but just being, constantly like interacting with them, whether it's in the comments or DMs or checking in on them. Like I have so many like Instagram friends who are like family to me, and Brianna's like, who is that? And I'm like, you don't know them. But like, just developing those relationships, because I know like if I ever launch something big, like all these people are going to be there to support me and share my stuff, So I always tell people, like, it's not necessarily about like followers and stuff. It's more about like the relationships with people, because you can have a very little or a small following, but there's a cat. But
at some point, yep.
So yeah, the biggest thing is like followers don't really matter, like if you have like 20 followers, but they're like loyal to you and they really care about what you do in your mission, like that's gonna go further than having like 100K that maybe 20,000 people will like, share your stuff. So I'm just really like focusing on like developing relationships with people is important.
Yeah. For the website development side, I would say the pros are, like I said, you get to work with a lot of different things, a lot of different technologies, a lot of different stacks. Sort of one thing that's like a pro and a con is like it's a continuous learning thing. So if you like to learn, it's good. It's a con because it can take a lot of time from you. But when you learn it, it's good, it's valuable, and you'll always have it. So yeah, I really enjoy it. And I want to say one thing that I appreciate Naijha for is allowing me to learn as I go with a lot of things with WordPress and giving me the opportunity to even work on all of your sites. So I appreciate you for that. And yeah, like if you want to get into it, I would just say just go for it and do it, because that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just diving in and I'm learning, and I think it's going well, right, Naijha?
We're here to.
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes a person to like be able to foster like relationships, you know, like a lot of companies even are just like, no, we need somebody who has 13 years experience, and you can't get in that way, you know, like you need somebody like it. Yeah. We're blessed to have met you, honestly. Like we need more people like Naijha in this world, because
absolutely,
yeah, like you just give people a chance to like learn and develop new skills and passion. So yeah.
People have to start somewhere. No one was born an expert. And I love giving people the opportunity to build. I mean, it's a new organization, and we're supposed to be out here lifting people up. I know we speak veganism and promote all that stuff, but just as a whole, as an individual, for personal, professional skills, we're trying to develop. Everyone is developing here, including myself. So I just am humbled that I can give these opportunities to people that are available. So I appreciate that. And yes, Debbie, thank you for reminding us. And speciesism is another one that we need to focus on. End it. All these isms that we need, classism, all of that needs to end. Stop the division. And Tom, thank you again for tuning in. Tom is always tuning into Naijha Speaks. So thank you so much for your support. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to Naijha Speaks. And also I got to do a little shameless plug for StreamYard, because that's how it all got started. Let's get in your backyard with StreamYard. I have a link if people want to subscribe to StreamYard and do your own video interviews. So please take advantage of that. You can trial the service. So hey, I'm addicted now. It's always a pleasure. Destiny and Brianna, how best can people follow you?
Yeah. So I think, the best way to follow me is at Eat Your Destiny on Instagram. My website is eatyourdestiny.com. It looks better on the web. I have to have Brianna fix it. So, and then our tiny house page is Let's Go _tiny, LEZGO_tiny. And then your social media.
Yes. You can follow me on Instagram at tense_shoulders. But you can follow me better if you just follow Destiny.
I love it. We didn't get into the DJ conversation. We didn't get into the DJ conversation because I'm still waiting for those links and those pro. I gotta see you work. We might bring you out to Vegan Soul Fest 2020 so you can spin a little. All right.
All right.
Debbie, thank you again. She appreciates the conversation. And if you do, please, Debbie, subscribe to NaijhaSpeaks.com, share, like, comment, tell your friends, watch the replay, all of that. Peace and blessings again to all. Whatever you do, wherever you go, however you be, just please be well, be safe, and stay blessed. Have a good one.
Thank you.